these two words is very important. Concentrate and focus your attention on these two words. Vyapruteshu, Indriyeshu. Indriyeshu. Indriya, sense organs, action organs, and inner organs. Combination of all them is come under the one concept that is called Indriya or senses. Yesterday, we have seen tongue, hands, legs, genitals, and anus. These are action organs or motor organs, we can say that. And ears, skins, eyes, tongue, nose, these are the sense organs. Intellect, mind, memory, and ego, these fourfold is called Antakarana. All these senses are functioning very smoothly. We see the activities in them. Vyapruteshu. Vyapruteshu means in them, activities are in them. They are active. They are functioning very smoothly. Who all senses are functioning very smoothly. Or we can say in different way also, while functioning of all these senses respectively in their particular fields. Vyapruteshu indriyeshu. Behind the each and every senses, there is a life force principle. All senses are live. They are functioning in their field. Why? Because life giver principle behind the senses. Ears are hearing the sound. Skin is feeling the touch. Eyes are seeing the particular form and color. Tongue is tasting the taste. Or nose are smelling the smell. So, in these indriyas, in these senses, hearing, feeling, seeing, tasting, smelling, these are the activities of the senses. Each sense does their work. So, we see the activities in the senses. In the same way, there are tongue, hands, legs, genitals, and the anus. Through the tongue, we speak. Through the hands, we take and give the objects to each other. Through the leg, we can go one place to another place. The locomotion is there. Through the genitals, we have an experience of the procreations in their personal life. And through the anus, we eliminates the unwanted or wastage thing. So anus is functioning, genitals is functioning, legs are functioning, hands are functioning, and tongue also functioning very smoothly. There are a vyapar in the senses. Vyapruteshu indriyeshu. We see the different type of activities in the senses. Why they are functioning? Because behind the senses, there is life principle. That life principle enlivens all the senses. You can say that self is enlivener, life giver principle. So I perceive the objects because of something is sitting behind the eyes.
Vital force.
Vital force. The ears become able to listen the sound because behind the ears there is a something. By that power, senses or the ears become able to listen the sound. So we see the vyapar, we see the activities in the senses. Now I'm talking with this speech, with the tongue, with this tongue. We have experience of the speech, but behind the speech, there is unseen factor. That life giver factors. There is enliveners who enlivens the tongue. By that power, tongue become able to speak. So vyapar is in the tongue. Activities is in the tongue. Okay. In the same principle, if we apply, then common statement we are going to do or will be making one statement that behind the each and every senses, there is a life principle. Because of that, all senses are functioning very smoothly in their particular field. Okay. Then we have to move little forward. Where there is action?
In the sense organs.
Hmm?
In the sense organs.
The sense organs. But behind the sense organs, there is actionless principle. There is no action because lack of action is there. There is no motion. Motionless factor exists behind the senses, and because of that, all senses are functioning.
They're activated.
Their activities. What do you call that motionless factor? Shankaracharya says that Atma. Atma is the motionless Atma is the changeless self-illumination, self-illuminator is behind the senses. And because of that, all senses can perform their action in their particular field. Okay. But where is the problem? Problems are not in the senses. Problems is not in the self. But problem is the mind of ignorant people. They have ignorance of their own true nature. Through the senses, they see the activities in the senses. But all the activities ignorant people impose on the self. Vyapari iva avivekina. Those are aviveki, those are ignorant. They say that self, in the self, there is activities. In the self, there is a motion. In the self, there is a moment. But those people who have a knowledge of the self, they say that there is no action in the self. There is no motion in the self. There is no activity in the self. Activity happens in the senses by the presence of the self who illumines all the senses. But ignorant people do not know the fact that self is motionless. Their own ideas, their own imaginations, their own misconcepts, they impose on the self. And they think that there is action in the self. Vyapari eva, as though there is a vyapar, there is activity in the self. From whose standpoints? From the standpoint of the ignorance. They say that there is activity in the self. But Shankaracharya uses the word eva, as though ignorant people see there is activity in the self. But actually, fact is another. Activities are in the senses. There is no activity in the self. But hundreds and thousands misconception created by your mind. And if you impose on the self the misconception, by the misconception, there will not change anything in the self. Hundreds and thousands people come together, unanimously proclaim that there is a blueness in the sky. By the projecting the misconception, can sky become a blue? No. Sky will remain as it is. Colorless, formless, changeless. Due to your ignorance, you are imposing your ideas, misconceptions, wrong notions. But your wrong notions will not make impact to the self. It remain untouched. It remain completely free from your misconceptions and imaginations. But as though it appears, Atma have a moments, Atma have a activities, but actually there is no activity in the self. But because of his presence, all functions have a activities. So, avivekinam drishyate. Aviveki people have seen. Aviveki people have seen that there is activities in the self. Shankaracharya says that no. Abrassu dhavatsu. Vyapruteshu indriyeshu. There is a vyapar. There is activities in the senses. But self is free from all the activities of the senses. Even though ignorant people see the activities in the self, but there is no any effect on the imagination of the ignorant people. I think that this idea must be clear. Then he has given the example. The man who is standing on the earth, looking up in the sky in rainy season, clouds are moving very speedily in the sky, and he looked up the clouds. He focused his attention on the clouds. He concentrated his senses and mind on the clouds. And he saw that clouds are speedily moving one place to another place. Where is the moment? Moment is the in clouds. Where is the activities? Activities are going on in the clouds. But ignorant people see that moon is moving. Moon is running. Moon is going. But moon is far from that clouds. In between clouds and man, there is in between moon and the man, there is the clouds. But the ignorant people impose the activities of the clouds on the moon. So, dhavan eva yatha shashi. As though moon is moving one place to another place. But moon is not moving, clouds are moving due to force of wind, due to force of air. But actually, moon remains in its own place as it is. But the people who are living on the earth and ignorant about the fact, they superimpose the idea that moon is moving. By the imposing the many ideas on the moon will not move in the single inch from his place. It remain in his own place. So, dhavan eva yatha shashihi. Abreshu dhavatsu. While moving the clouds, the ignorant people see clouds, the sun is moving. But the moon is apart from the clouds and its activities. In the same way, self is different from senses and their activities. But the activities of the senses, ignorant people impose on the self. And when eyes are seeing something, color and form, the ignorant people say that I am seeing the beautiful scene. Okay. The activities are going on the eyes, but we impose this idea in self. I was listening to Ravachan very attentively. No, Baba, your ears are listening, but you impose the idea of the senses on the self. I am listening. Yesterday, I was writing the letter to the President of India. Oh, great. Writing a letter is the mission of our hands. But the activities of hands we impose on the self. Therefore, we uses this type of statement. I am listening, I am speaking, I am touching, I am seeing, I am tasting, I am smelling. Hearing, feeling, seeing, tasting, smelling, these are the activities of the senses. All these activities belong to the senses, not the self. Self is different from the senses and its activities. In the same way, grasping something or going somewhere or procreation or elimination, these are the activities in the action organs. But their activities we impose on ourselves. For the transactions, we can use these types of sentence. But in our mind, we have to understand that. For the day-to-day activities, I use this type of statement, but it is wrong. Senses do their work in their particular field in my presence, but I do not do anything. I am complete apart from everything. This type of conviction shows that you have a knowledge of the self. But if you impose the many ideas on the self, it shows that you are ignorant about the self. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is very simple. Motionless principle shows the motion in the senses. The witness, self is the witness, and the witness is the one who does not take part in the activities of the senses. It does not interfere in them. He is disinterested to the activities of the senses. You can say it is a disinterested witness. By his presence, everything happens smoothly, but he doesn't know. Thousands and thousands clouds come and go, but sky doesn't know what happens in him, because it is untouched by everything. We have experience of the day and night, the darkness and the day. And if you say the sun, oh sun, do you know that today is nowadays, now we have an experience of the daytime. And before few hours, we had experience of the night. Did you have? Sun will say that I don't know what is the day and what is the night. Oh sun, but because of you, we have an experience of the sun and the day and night. What your experience, I don't know anything, but I don't know day also, I don't know night also. From the standpoint of the sun, there is no concept of day and night. But because of him, we have an experience of the day and night. Even though sun doesn't know anything. In the same way, by the presence, by the existence of the self, all the senses are functioning very smoothly, and all senses come together, and thanks to self, oh self, because of you, we become able to work in our field. The self will say that, I don't know anything. If you go and say the light, oh my dear light, because of you, I did very great tapas. Light will say, I don't know anything. Thief will say that because of your light, we become success to take away everything from this house. Thank you. Light will say that I don't know anything. So light is, by the presence of the light, we can do anything. Light will not interfere anything. But everything happens due to the light. Light do not do anything. In the same way, in the presence of the self, everything happens. But self do not do anything. I am that self. I am that consciousness. I am that motionless. I am that uncontaminated principle. I am that life force. I am that enliveners of everything. Remain in your own true nature.
I'm
And
infinite.
infinite. And see all the dramas are going on in your darbar, in your presence. So you are like a king, Rajavat Sada. But you are not doing anything in there. Everything for you. Everything for you. But you are different from everything. This is the example. Vyapruteshu indriyeshu atma vyapari iva avivekina drishyate. Vyapari iva avivekinam atma drishyate. Yatha dhavatsu abhreshu dhavan iva shashi. Yatha dhavan iva shashi. As though sun, as though moon is moving while moving the clouds. In this way, be calm, quiet, serene, and remain apart from everything. This is the meditation. This is the contemplation. And if you have a conviction, there will not any impact of the world in your true nature. You will be the forever happy. you will see the many tremendous change in the world. But you will remain untouched by everything, by this thought. So this thought, this idea, this philosophy is essential to each and every human being, those are living on the earth. Along with me also. So we'll end here.